The last time I was in this ballroom, I think I was in one of my own creations. I used to work, those of you remember Tina Fabrics in Columbia out at the mall? Well, I sold fabric there, and I spent most of the money I made at Tina Fabrics buying fabric, and I made my own clothes, and we used to have dances in this room. And it's so funny because it seemed like such a big room at the time. But the last time I was here, I was in a really ugly burgundy empire-waisted thing with way too much lace at the top. And so I'm glad I didn't pull it out and try to reprieve it. It is terrific to be in Columbia. It's terrific to be here for Chuck Graham. It's terrific to be with my family tonight. We're all here. My older sister is here from Long Island. She's in Missouri until Election Day because, in case you haven't noticed, New York is not a battleground state. My younger brother, Will, who almost lives here, Generic on Broadway is where he does his fine work of keeping the young people of Columbia entertained. My younger sister, Lisa, who lives in Overland Park, Kansas, is here. And my husband, Joseph, and then, of course, the star of the show, Mimi, and Lisa's brother-in-law, Terry Finn, is here. So this is a family affair for us tonight because we were let in on the announcement about Mom. So if you allow me to weave in to what I'm going to say about Chuck Graham and Chris Kelly and Judy Baker and all the great people that are running in Boone County, if you would allow me to channel my mother, I think it's an appropriate thing for me to do tonight, since she was recognized for her groundbreaking work in politics. And let me explain the glamorous work my mother did. My mother, as I was growing up, did the stuff that nobody wants to do. She would sit on the phone literally from 5 o'clock at night until she was waking people up, calling them about what they needed to be doing to help the Democrats. And then the next night, she'd have some people over. Many times she'd go over to campus and make college students come over to our house, and she would organize them stuffing envelopes. I remember snipping sponges as a kid in strips so that we'd have the saucer and we would use the sponge to shut all the envelopes, and that would be our jobs, as we were not allowed to stuff usually. We had to just seal. I remember her explaining over and over to me as I began campaigning that the most important people were the people that were willing to take their time and energy to help me. The ones that were willing to go out and pound yard signs. The ones that were willing to do the phoning and to drive the cars on Election Day. That's the kind of democratic politics that my mother loves. She calls herself a ward healer. Now, you gotta quit crying because you make me cry. So the neat thing about her getting recognized tonight here in Columbia is because of this election year. Because we've come full circle. As I began, when Ken and Chris and I went to the Missouri legislature in 1982, it was the beginning of a time that we kind of thought, retail politics is not that important. We can do it with direct mail. We can do it with just radio. We can do it with just TV. And our party kind of gravitated away from this notion that these exercises need to be bottom up. That these exercises need to be about reaching out and motivating people to the point that they're willing to get out of their comfort zone. That they're willing to step up, get off the couch. That they're willing to go talk to a neighbor. That they're willing to put a sign in their yard. That they're willing to organize people in their neighborhood. So how ironic is it that this year we have a candidate for president who decided to do it bottom up? His campaign didn't come out of Washington. His campaign came from the living rooms of Iowa, the small businesses in Nevada, from ordinary folks all over this country who said, you know what, I am inspired. I am motivated. And so these next 2 weeks, as you all figure out things you can do to help Chuck Graham, and boy, he deserves the help. He is a really smart, strong soldier. Chuck Graham figured out something that a lot of people in Jeff City never figure out. And that is that you don't have to have every vote. You got to hold on to what you believe in. Now, a whole lot of people that do this, they start trying to please everyone. They start trying to say things in a way, Sue will tell you, she's nodding her head. There are people down there that will try to say things in a way that please everyone. That's not who Chuck Graham is. He's not trying to please everyone. He is trying to be true to his principles. And he has a strong intellect and a lot of passion for what he believes in. And at the end of the day, could you ask for anything more from somebody who represents you? You really can't ask for anything more. So as you look at these next 2 weeks, whether you're knocking on the door for Senator Graham or whether you're working for old Representative Kelly who wants to be new Representative Kelly, I don't think you guys have any idea of the trouble he's capable of. Oh, yeah, you do. You live here. Oh, yeah, you do. You do know in this room. I mean, Joe Mosley, I can tell you stories of things that Chris Kelly did when we were in the legislature, and it was always speaking truth to power. It was always speaking truth to power, just like Chuck Graham does. I think there's something in the water in Columbia, Mom, that causes this. But as you guys work the next 2 weeks, kind of just wallow in it. Wallow in this notion that our party has gotten back to what our party always used to be. And that is one that is driven by the power of regular people who feel like that this is their government. It is their community. It is their country. It's not something that is anything close to a nasty robocall or a nasty piece of mail. It's much grander than that. It's much bigger than that, and it's noble. So all of you patriots that are in this room, go out and show Sarah Palin how pro-America we are in Missouri. Is that all the people that are working to re-elect Chuck Graham and all the people that are working to elect Judy Baker and Chris Kelly and that helped Stephen and that have helped many of us over the years, that all of you show the rest of the country that you can be a Democrat and be very pro-American. So let's do that this November. Let's do that this November, and I know that some of these races, and obviously Stevens is not close, he doesn't even have an opponent, but some of these races will be very close. I know the presidential race in Missouri will be very close. So don't rest a minute. There's not that much time left. Do everything you can. Get outside your comfort zone. Do what my mother does. She's never met a stranger she's not afraid to work with. It is embarrassing. I can't go. My children don't even want to go anywhere with her because if we're sitting at a restaurant and the waitress walks up, Mother starts in. Well, now, are you voting? Now, have you decided who you're voting for? Now, let's talk about that. Now, why would you vote for John McCain? You've got to know better than that. And she starts in, and before she's done, it's so funny. I went to this place, Mom had been in town in Washington, and I went downstairs, and I'm walking through, and this woman stops me. She goes, "Isn't your mother that woman that was just through here?" And I went, "Oh, my Lord, she's doing it in Washington." She was working the food line down in the cafeteria in the Hart Building. But she's never met a stranger she's not afraid to ask for their vote. She asks everyone she meets, and that's what you need to do for the next 2 weeks. Talk to everyone you meet about how important this election is, and we will. As my friend Brock says, we will change the world. Thank you guys very, very much.
Senator, thank you. We know you need to go, but thank you for what you do as Senator.